Well, hello and welcome to springtime in Montana. Still got some snow on the ground, but it's going away quick. Today I'm going to do some redneck engineering with some buckets. I'm going to make a classifier that will fill a 5-gallon bucket as you shovel onto it with screen. I played with this with my wheelbarrow classifier. Anybody that's followed my channel, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But I think this is great for dry material. We get that a couple times a year or a couple months out of the year here where we can get the material dry enough that you don't need to wet classify it. And if I can get this in my hole right next to me and shovel directly onto it, fill the 5-gallon bucket, remove the bucket and put it through the sluice box, fantastic. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do today, and I'm just going to give it's a little, I'm not going to go through the whole exact process every painstaking moment, but I'll show you exactly what I'm doing, how to do it, and hopefully some different ideas so you can build your own. There's many ways to do it. I'm doing this with bucket screen and PVC pipe, but get this out. I think everybody that follows my channel has seen my wheelbarrow classifier, and that is this. This fits directly on the classifier or on the wheelbarrow, and I shovel onto it. But what happens is, and man, I have ran yards and yards and yards and yards and yards of material over this thing, and it's still going strong. Made out of 2x2s. I can put it on my wheelbarrow, or I drilled some holes. I can use expandable tent stakes. So what I'm doing today with the PVC pipe could be done with 1x2s, I would think, with wood, C-clamps for legs, all that good stuff. But this is just to give you some ideas, and like I said, I want this. What happens to me though is I set this up on my wheelbarrow, then I still end up filling buckets with dirt and carrying it all the way over to the wheelbarrow where I got it set up. And yeah, so I'm still filling buckets and packing buckets of rocks to classify. If I have a smaller one, I can set up right next to me in the hole. So we'll see how it goes. Well, first thing to do, I think, and this is, I'm taking advantage of the warm weather today. It's supposed to be in the 40s, so that's going to be great to be out here and not in the shed with the heater on where there's no light. So first thing to do is get this bucket cut in half, and then I'll be back and we'll continue on. Okay, now I got my bucket cut in half. Cut the end out of one, so that's going to fit just like this. Now I got to figure out how long to make my PVC, and I want my PVC pipe to run down in here, so I got a lip to hold all the rocks on. So I'm thinking I want to come, screen's going to be up here and shoot off this way. So I want probably a good 6 inches, 6-7 inches added onto that, so the big rocks will slide off into a pile over here, and all the fines will go down in here. So I needed about another 6 inches, and I have no plans or measurements or anything. I'm just kind of got the idea in my head, and I'm just gonna go with it as I go and build it. I hope it gives you some ideas. So I'm gonna need, take a little bit off there, 3 feet will do it. So 3 feet. Then I'll have to figure out my width because I want it to fit down in there. And so let me get the PVC pipe cut. I am using 3D printed tees because I went down to the store, a little hardware store here, and for a 1/2 inch 90 the other day, they wanted $1.79 a piece. And I was flabbergasted, and came home and said, well, I'm going to make my own 3D printed T's and 90s and connectors, and that's what I came up with. Prints pretty doggone good. It's solid plastic. It should be strong, so I'm going to test them out, see how strong they really are. Okay, let me get this PVC pipe cut, and we'll go from there. Alright, so I got my PVC pipe where I wanted it. I think it was 7.5 inches across, and that's got a few notches in the bucket for these to sit down. Then there'll be pipe coming out here for the legs, but we'll get to that. So now, I guess I need to cover this, my PVC pipe, with screen. I got 1/4 inch mesh hardware cloth. So we'll get that cut up, and I'll show you how I'm attaching it. Okay, now I got my screen cut, and I'm going to just wrap it around here, tack it on the bottom. One thing I will mention is make sure the welds, this is going to be the top, so the welds, make sure that they're running this way, the welds are on top, so your rocks will slide off. Otherwise, if you do it this way, these little ridges are going to stop the rocks from sliding off. So you want that, so the rocks will slide off. Attaching this, I am using roofing screws. They're self-tapping, and the little washer on there is rubber, and we'll keep that on there nice and tight. It shouldn't come out. Well, we shall see. So get this on here, and I will be back. Okay, so now I've got my PVC pipe screwed into my bucket, and no, it's not perfect, but redneck engineering never is, or mine never is anyway. I like it. We're all put together, so now all we need is some legs, right? Fines will go in the bucket. We can get rid of that handle, and big rocks will slide off here. So I need to cut some more PVC, figure out how wide I want my legs to be to give it sturdiness, and yeah, so let me figure that out, and I'll be back. And this whole thing is taking me, what, half an hour, maybe, but it's together. We're good to go. We'll be back in a bit. Alright, I got my screen on there, and it's just fastened along the bottom. Not enough time to put it in the bucket. Now, it's a little tough to get this all nice and tight. You could stretch it, you could do all that, but with the little bit of slack in here, what that does is it allows your material to come down, and it will sag and get stopped, and it doesn't all run off at once. So I think in this case the sag does help a bit. Plus it will stop down here at this bar, and if you're not quite sure it's clean, you can take your shovel, rake it back up, and let it go again. So I'm okay with a little bit of sag in there. Of course it's DIY, so each to his own. Let me get the buckets up here, see if we can attach this in there. Well, voila, there it is. Put the legs on it and everything. I will say I 3D printed me some 90 PVC clamps for this. I have a 3D printer, so I made them. It adjusts, of course, this way and up and down. Tighten them up there and it'll never slip. There's plenty of DIY ways to do this. If you make it out of wood, C-clamps, totally adjustable, amongst many other ways. I wasn't planning on it, but if anybody wants these, I guess I can put them on the website. Printingprospectors.com if you want to check them out. I'll put some there. I guess, like I said, totally adjustable, up and down. We got the bucket down there. Big rocks will go off here. Fines will go in there. I guess the only thing left to do is take it out here in the yard. I think I got some dry material in the shed, and run it and see how she works. So I'll be back in a minute when I get set up. Alright, got all set up. I got a little bit of dirt. We're just going to pretend I'm in the hole and shoveling dirt right on. This is the driest dirt I'm going to get, and I don't have a whole lot left. You can see there's still snow on the ground, but it's leaving quick. So we should be able to get out prospecting soon. So put that on there. Might need a little steeper, but that way, for sure, it's going to be very well classified. And my string stretched out a little bit, it will be even better. I bet if I tip this up, we'll do even better. So let me try that. Or faster anyway. Leaning to one side here, but easily fixed. Okay, try again. Nothing wrong with that. We'll just go ahead and classify it down. That's enough of a demonstration. There we go. And of course, out in the field, that'll all be on the ground. So I wouldn't worry about that. And just lift this up, take your bucket out. There we got 1/4 inch minus material, all classified. Can I give any tips? I would get this a little bit lower right here on this edge, but it's going to work fine. Like I said, I cobbled it together, Redneck Engineering. One for my friend Lewis, if you're watching, this one's for you. He said, do something with buckets again. So here you go. And yeah, that's going to work great. If you want the brackets, I'll put them at printingprospectors.com or have them do it. And we can print some off for you. If not, come up with your own ideas. That would be cool. You can make them stationary very easily if you wanted to, and just dig a hole or whatever and set it up that way. But I think that's going to work great for in the hole. so I'm not packing buckets. I can just shovel right into it. I don't know, I could chop it down a little bit more and make it not quite so wide, but it's nice and sturdy that way. So anyway, that is the DIY bucket classifier. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we will catch you next time. Bye now.